Hey everyone, my name is David Dunbar, or the Theme Park Evangelist. I know the back of my room probably looks unusually bright. Maybe I didn't need to have that light on. Maybe I'll go turn it off. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, I was originally hoping that the lamp would be enough light, but I guess not. But anyway, the reason why I'm doing a YouTube video today, so back on Friday, I went to my very first buffet during the pandemic, and I wanted to tell you guys all about it. So I didn't really take any pictures, nor did I YouTube in there. I thought about asking, but honestly, I was hungry, and I was also on the phone with TJ the majority of it. And then by the time I got off the phone with him and started eating, people had started to show up, and there really wasn't a lot of people in there, but there was still enough people inside the restaurant that it wouldn't have been okay. But yeah, I felt like I probably could have gone away with it. And because it was my first time experiencing eating at a buffet during the pandemic, excuse me, I honestly had no idea what to expect. So I was a little surprised. So I'm going to start with first getting there. Obviously, I came right after work and trying really hard to find a good hand to balance with. Sorry about putting my hand in front of the camera. But yeah, so I got there, and I walked in. Of course, they had a giant sign up front that said, you know, the dining room is open or we're open again, something like that. I mean, CC's have been doing like takeout and I guess delivery, but the dining room hadn't been open in like 3 months at least. So I walk in there, and there's this giant screen in front of the cashier, so that people, if they coughed or sneezed or whatnot, they would go on there instead. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then of course after that, as soon as I got done paying and everything, which I don't know if they're accepting cash or not. Chick-fil-A is no longer accepting cash up here in Kentucky, but I don't know about down in Florida. That's a great question. Once again, something that TJ will have to discover on his own. Maybe TJ would be down for doing a whatever you call it, one of those collaborative vlogs today. I'll give him a quick holler. I'll call him up and just ask him really quick, hey, are you interested in doing that? And we'll say that, maybe like later tonight, like around 7, 8, we could do that. So we'll see how it goes. Definitely run that by him and see if he's interested. I kind of would rather do it tonight unless he has nothing going on tomorrow, but I'll ask him and see when he would rather do it. He hasn't been reading, he has been reading my messages, but he hasn't responded to any of them. So yeah, so as soon as I paid, I was given my silverware, and it was all saran wrapped, which is so weird. I was like, okay. And I went over and I picked out a table. At least I could pick out any open table. Most of them just said this table is closed. Hopefully people are paying attention and, don't set a table that's closed off. I mean, all the chairs were still at all the tables, but the most that CC's did was put a sign on the table saying this table is closed. And I went and got my soda. I could get my own soda. I could get as much as I wanted. That was the one thing I could self-serve. So by the time the food came out, I had gotten my own personal pan of macaroni pizza, which, honestly, if you do want pizza, they strongly prefer it. If there's something specific that you want, which they ask you right off the bat, they will cook it fresh for you and bring it to you. And this is the first CC's I have ever been to where, honestly, everything is done extremely well. It was the cheesiest macaroni pizza I had ever eaten in my life. I was like, wow. Like, I tried to take a bite out of the first slice, and all the macaroni just went right on my plate. I'm like, oh, okay, that was interesting. And then, after that, I went to up to the buffet, and I'm all ready to reach across, trying to figure out like why is all the food on the other side of the buffet. I went to reach across and get everything, and then they were like, "Hey, can you help him out at the buffet?" I'm like, "Okay." And then he turned on all the lights and asked me what I wanted. I had my plate, so I said, just to be honest, a little bit of everything. And what I meant by that is like I wanted some of the pizza they put out. I even said specifically what I would like on the buffet, like, oh, like cheese pizza, pepperoni, barbecue. I said I pretty much like everything other than supreme pizza. That's like the only one I do not like. And they just chose the two basics, which are like cheese and pepperoni, which is fine. Easy to make, cheaper for them in the long run. And he put about 2 slices of each, which was great. And then he put like all these cheesy breadsticks on my plate. I'm like, okay, I didn't ask for all that, but at this point, like, it would have to be thrown away if I gave any of it back, no matter what, whether there's a pandemic going on or not. So I'm like, oh well, might as well eat it. And then I got myself a small bowl of pasta, not as much as I usually get. I probably could have gotten another plate and had them loaded up, but I chose not to. I figured the small bowl was enough, which I'm glad I did because by the time I ate the entire macaroni pizza, the 4 slices of pizza from the buffet, and 6 pieces of cheesy bread. Yeah, I was extremely full. Oh, it was awful. I did also notice that they had the arcade completely closed off and blocked off for that matter. They also have put in hand sanitizing stations throughout the restaurant, and it was pointed out that the entire time I was on the phone with TJ waiting for the food to be cooked to order for the buffet, because they have to literally cook everything fresh for each group of people that come in, and then once that group of people leave, I guess or leaves I should say, they throw it all away and cook another fresh batch. It's like a lot more work, but in the long run, it's honestly worth it. It really is. I still have not experienced what it's like to eat at a sit down restaurant other than CC's. Now, for my brother's 23rd birthday soon, I will get a chance to experience that. But unless I do happen to go to another sit down restaurant this week, but we'll see. I mean, it depends. I kind of want to go bowling again, and that's going to be next Monday. So, yeah, it looks like that's going to be the game plan for now. And I'm always off Sundays and Mondays, and my brother's like, not always. I'm like, well, recently I have been anyway, so then that's what I meant. But like the last little comment I really want to make about the whole experience is that there's definitely not a lot of people that are going out to eat right now. I think that most people are still doing carry out. I would honestly be surprised if there's any restaurant right now that has a lot of people in their dining room. They did mention to me that that particular CC's the capacity, excuse me, is normally 300 and they dropped it down to 100, which is still a lot of people. 100 people, and you don't know if any one of them has the coronavirus. It's like, So, yeah, I'm going to call this vlog Eating at a Buffet during the coronavirus pandemic. And I know that sounds like a really interesting, just readjusting myself. I know this sounds like a really interesting title to call my vlog, but in all honesty, I think that would be, a very cool title. And honestly, it is the truth because the coronavirus pandemic is still going on, and it did. All these restaurants have been slowly but surely opening here in Kentucky as of Friday, and it's just going to keep, opening up slowly but surely. We've actually been told by our governor Andy Beshear that we're doing better than we were back a few months ago, so that's a good sign. And then Florida, on the other hand, is over 50,000 cases. So if TJ and I do get a chance to do another discussion. I would like to talk to you guys more about what's going on in Florida, see if he knows anything, especially since last week it didn't happen. And the only time I really get a chance to do these really cool discussion vlogs with you guys on the coronavirus is really on my days off, if it comes down to it. I could do some vlogs during the week, but that's about it. Of course, during the beginning of the my work week, I have a little more energy than I do at the end of the week, so you probably noticed there was less vlogs from me. I did start going back to Spreaker again and start doing more stories. Actually, speaking of which, another one I want to do later today is I'm going to go downstairs and play a little GameCube and then come back upstairs, and I want to do a another recording on Spreaker. It's going to be called My Top 10 Favorite Birthdays I Have Ever Celebrated at Walt Disney World. I know, another long title, but honestly, this is a really cool one. It doesn't have to necessarily be my birthday. It could be my brother's, it could be my parents'. Not saying that my parents ever did. Or it could even be a friend's. You never know. So, I've got 10 really cool stories to tell you guys. Obviously, it's all audio format. So you just have to use your imagination to the best of your ability and go from there. And I really hope you guys enjoy that vlog because, you know, it will be something to listen to, something to keep your mind off of the pandemic, also something to help you remember, you know, that Walt Disney World will eventually reopen, and that before you know it, we'll be able to go back. I'm going back next October, so long ways from now, but the point is, you know, I am going to go back. It's just not going to be any time this year, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go back again, because, you know, I'm always going to go back to Walt Disney World. Alright, guys. I really enjoyed this. The information was very informative. Hopefully this gives you guys an idea of whether you feel like it's safe to go eat out again, especially at a buffet, especially considering, you know, buffets are probably one of the most dangerous places to eat at during a pandemic, but hey, at least on the bright side, I got to serve myself. Who knows how Florida is doing buffets right now. I'm even surprised that Golden Corral is open again in Florida, but, you know, that's just Florida for you. But, yep, I am going to go do my own thing for a little bit, and I'm going to come and record my next story for Spreaker, so always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.